We will show you two examples of how marriage between information technology and medicine can help large number of patients for a large amount of time. We are talking about the acute encephalitis epidemic, which is plaguing the country and causing about 1,000 deaths, 5,000 acutely diseased and about 3,000 disabled per year since the last 37 years between UP, Bihar and Assam. So when this epidemic strikes, it's a seasonal epidemic striking pre-monsoon and post-monsoon. You have to find out what is the agent, who is the host, and what is the transmission. And then you have to try to stop the preventable factors. One of the first things you have to do is to find out the time and place and person distribution, who's involved when and where about this disease. So what is usually done is not usually done, but was done by AIIMS Patna, was use a mobile phone to go to the residences of the patient and record data. And when you record such data, then this data along with it carries onto the net the latitude and longitude location of the mobile phone, and thus we know exactly where the patient is. So when this is so, then this latitude and longitude information makes us make these maps, micro maps through a software. And if you see this particular map, you find that this is the distribution of the epidemic on 11/12/2011, and you are seeing the snapshot, and what you find that it is limited by the Saryu River, which means that the midstream of the river is not letting it cross to the south, which means that probably it is fecal contamination of the northern bank, which is infecting other patients downstream, which is typically called the fecal-oral contamination. Now, you can see the video picture, day-to-day video picture of this, and you see that the numbers are increasing where population is more, that means towards the Gorakhpur side. But it is still unable to cross the Gandak. So this is the Gandak river, this is the Saryu river. But when Saryu meets the Ganga near Chhapra, the infection travelling in its north bank goes into the north bank of Ganga. It is unable to cross the midstream of Ganga, so Patna is spared. But it crosses the weakened Gandak pre-monsoon, and therefore Muzaffarpur is affected. So this is what was proved, and here is what you see. We have reached on 30th of April, still nothing in Muzaffarpur, nothing in Muzaffarpur here, because this Gandak is stopping it from reaching here. But the Gandak gets weakened, and as we go ahead, there are two cases occurring on 7th of May. Till 27th of May, all is quiet, but then you suddenly find this huge epidemic, this rate going up to above 50 per day in Muzaffarpur, because the weakened Gandak was crossed by the powerful north bank of Ganges. As the flow rates change, you see the epidemic decline because of the monsoon. The flow rates have changed, the Gandak has become more powerful, and the fecal contamination has been washed away. But the floods have contaminated surface water sources in Gorakhpur, and therefore post-monsoon you see this spread and this epidemic coming up in Gorakhpur. So this peak that you see is basically here in Gorakhpur before the Gandak, and you see this huge post-monsoon peak here. This is the Gorakhpur epidemic, this is the Muzaffarpur epidemic, this is the period of monsoon, and thus we were able to beautifully chart the epidemic and prove that this is waterfall. So what we suggested was that we'll divert the midstream towards the north bank and use it to clean the fecal contamination. However, the Chief Minister just agreed, Nitish Kumar ji just agreed for a clean water campaign pre-monsoon and not this deflector stuff that we were proposing. And the results were that in 2014 there were 1347 cases of the epidemic, and in 2015 there were just 64. This is the example of being able to combine. We used these mobile phones to transmit data and the latitude, longitude information. And we tried to convince the Chief Minister, Nitish Kumar ji, who agreed for an intensive clean water campaign in Muzaffarpur before the 2015 epidemic, and the incidence here 1347 dropped to just 64 in 2015. And this is the newspaper article saying साफ सफाई से कम हुआ encephalitis के मरीज. I'll give you another example in the next video. Thank you.